Hey, Magic Makers, I hope you are having a absolutely fabulous day. And today there's about, I'd say there's two books I would say that really radically shifted how I think about things and how I approach getting stuff done. And one of them is the book, The One Thing, right? That's kind of like my Bible. Like that's the thing that shifted me from chasing 500 different goals at the same time. And the second book is called The 12-Week Year. And of the premise of the book is that it kind of shifts, it challenges like traditional like setting goals for the year. And as we come to the end of the year, many of us might be looking at what we have done, not done, what we're close to, and kind of start to think about what are the goals for next year. And so instead of thinking about I have 12 months to complete this goal, think about if you had 12 weeks to complete this goal. And what would that look like? And so if you think about it, the way the book explains it, right, that it's like every week becomes a month and every day is like a week. So it helps to create urgency and help us to drive our focus. So in the short term, right, it helps us to prioritize actions and eliminate the procrastination. I know that I'm guilty of getting stuck in the planning and less about the execution. But then, the other phase concept of this book is that it's about how do you execute over planning, and right, the results come from consistent execution, not just having this great plan, and then if one little peg falls out of the plan, everything falls to shit. And here's where I think the last two pieces of the book, or core concepts of the book, that this is where I think many of us get stuck. Many of you don't really measure the success, right? So we measure the success in black and white. It's like it's either not working because I didn't do all the things, but I got 80% of the things done, or you don't even look at it at all. You're just like, this is the diet and I'm going to follow it until I die. Right. So this is where we start to kind of regularly start to track progress and keeps us accountable. Is it freaking working? And if it isn't working, what are some of the things I need to tweak in order to get it to work? And then the final thing is like getting so clear about what it is that I want. Like so crystal clear that like you can pick some rando off the street and say, this is what I want. And they're like, oh, girl, I get that. I understand exactly what you're trying to accomplish. And keep it simple. Right here, let's just go back. How many times have we tried freaking complicated? And how long did that last? Right? Not very long. So we want to narrow down our goals so that we ensure we get the best results. And this way we get better focused effort and we leverage our time management. Make sense? All right. So let's dive in, right? So today I'm literally taking a page out of that book, and we're just talking about how do we apply this to your health and fitness goals without you constantly feeling like you're failing. I don't know how many times I hear clients be like, "Oh, I'm so behind." Behind who? Right? I want you to find that person that you are behind. Point them out. Take a picture and send it to me. So if you're tired of dieting, tired of stressing, and feeling like you're spinning your wheels, grab a cup of coffee, sister, or a protein shake, and let's dive in. So the biggest problem I see is I'm going to call it the health hustle. Okay. The health hustle. I was caught in that health hustle for far too long, raising my hand. So let me guess. This is what the health hustle looks like, right? You've tried every diet under the sun. You've worked out till you're blue in the face, and you're still stuck. The scale ain't moving. You got crap energy. You're not sleeping. You don't know what to eat, and you're just starting to think, "What the hell? I just might as well just lay here and just let life take over." Is this you? So this is why a traditional approach fails. It's focused on the long game without any real action towards short-term wins. It's overwhelming to think I want to lose 30 pounds with no clear roadmap. It's overwhelming to be like, I want to lose the belly fat. This all or nothing mindset. This one miss workout, this one-off meal, boom, it shits, right? And I'm back to square one or off to find something else. Ladies, the problem isn't you, it's the system. We grew up in diet culture. Diet culture told us if I found said meal plan diet, I would fail. If I followed it like into the nth degree, I was going to have magical success. How is that working out for you? Right? I've done the same thing. I followed a diet for 15 years and it didn't fucking work. Because guess what? My body changed from that diet. So this is resonating with you. Listen up, friends, because it's not you. It's not because you have to try harder. It's not because you have to eat less. It's not because you have to do more. I have to change the freaking game. So that's where the 12-week year comes from. So here is where it's a system that takes a big, overwhelming goal and puts it into bite-sized, actionable steps. Because when I hit bite-sized, actionable steps, guess what? I start to see progress. And when you see progress, guess what? You're motivated. You know, many of us are looking for motivation, willpower, discipline, think it's going to ring our freaking doorbell. It ain't going to ring your freaking doorbell, sister. If it did, I would tell you, like, put out, you know, kind of like you're waiting for Santa, put out some cookies and some carrots and for the reindeer. No, that doesn't freaking happen. You know what happens? Starting to feel some wind underneath our feet. So I want us to think about a 12-week sprint instead of this year-long marathon so that we can start to compress our goals and start to see us getting shit done. Right? This is perfect for women over 40 because we have busy lives. You have to admit what we do now, 40 plus, and what we were able to do in our 30s. I look back at some of the shit I did in my 30s, and I am like, holy shit. No wonder I was a freaking stress ball. No wonder. Was teaching 14 plus classes a day. 14 plus classes a week, plus personal training, plus a full-time job. Who the hell did I think I was? I did not get a cape. Trust me. All I got was burnt the fuck out. So our lives are busy. Own that. We got jobs. We got kids. Maybe you got grandkids. Social events. All the curveballs that life throws at us. This approach is about focus, not perfection. And I see it all the time. You know, I have clients who come to me who have more than full-time jobs. And they're like, Kim, I just couldn't work out this week. And I was like, is it because you couldn't or because we didn't want to move? Is it because we were chasing so many other things that working out fell to the bottom of the list? Eating healthy fell to the bottom of the list. Now, I'm not saying this to shame you. I'm saying it because if you keep saying this is what I want and it keeps falling to the bottom of the list, what do you think is going to happen? It's always going to be at the bottom of the bleeping list. All right. It's time for us to start to understand where we need to focus our attention so that other bullshit falls to the side. So grab a pen and paper, sister, notes, iPad, whatever it is. We're taking notes. We're diving in right now. So here's where I challenge you to pick 1 to 2 specific. Now, don't give me 10 because every time I tell people 1 to 2, I get a litany of things that they are trying to accomplish. I want you to pick 1 to 2 realistic goals. So here's some examples. Build a consistency with strength training 3 days a week. Learn to prioritize protein with every single meal. Reduce stress by a daily 10-minute walk. Reduce stress by setting a bedtime, right? Those are specific goals. Now, you're not trying to do all 4, 1 to 2, right? So just say your goal, I'm going to build 3 strength training workouts a week, and I'm going to go on a daily 10-minute walk. Those are 2 goals that I'm going to work on. Like, that's it. Boom. Those are my goals for the 12 weeks. Now, I take those 2 goals and I break it into weekly action. So if my goal was to exercise more, week 1 might be me sitting down and literally putting those in my calendar. All right. So it's like, okay, week 1, here we are on Sunday. Okay. I'm trying to get in 3 workouts a week. Okay. So Monday, I'm going to put it in my calendar. I'm literally going to put the day and time. I'm going to put it in my calendar like it's an appointment that I can't break. Now, I put 3 times a week. I didn't put how much I'm going to do it. So let's start on the conservative side. Let's say 20 minutes, okay? 20 minutes. I'm going to work out on Monday. I'm going to work out on Wednesday, and I'm going to work out on Friday. 20 minutes, put it in my calendar. I like to work out in the morning. You decide when that workout is going to happen for you. Okay. Now, as we kind of keep going through this, maybe by the time I get to week 4, 20 minutes, 15 minutes feels like, oh, I can start to maybe add a little bit more time. So maybe you bump it up and you're now at 25 minutes. Maybe you're at 30 minutes, right? But it's like these baby steps equal big results. And so every week we're tracking our progress. We're not judging ourselves, we're learning. We missed the workout, what happened? If I was, going on that daily walk, what happened? Did it rain? Right? Did something cataclysmic come up that I couldn't go out for the walk? So what is it that we can tweak? So here's where we start to do the evaluation. And so we start to adjust as we go. So here's not everything is going to be perfect, right? But we're building a sustainable system so that at the end of 12 weeks, we can regroup, calibrate wins, and start to set new goals for the next cycle. So the biggest thing I always tell people is I'm a big fan of if that. Okay, so what the hell is that? So for example, my goal was to say that daily 10-minute walk. I live in New England. It is now fall. So it's shit's gonna happen, right? So it's fall. As I move it through these 12 weeks, it's gonna move it to winter. So what if it snows? What could I do? So if it snows, and I'm trying to get the daily 10-minute walk, what could I do instead? So if it snows, will I double up my walk on the day that it doesn't snow? If it's gonna snow in the afternoon, will I move that walk to the morning? Could I get a walking pad? Could I walk on a treadmill? Right? So those are my thoughts that I'm thinking okay, if I'm unable to walk, what could I do instead? Same thing for the workouts. If I miss my workout, so say, for example, I'm traveling and my workout days are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I'm traveling that whole week. Is there a place that has a gym? Could I bring bands with me? Is there a place that I could take a class? Right. So I start to think about it. And if I did miss the whole week, so say I was somewhere that it just wasn't possible, then it's like, what I don't beat myself up. It's like, it is what it is. And so I start to say, okay, if I'm traveling that week, so say I'm physically flying on Monday, instead of Sunday is typically a rest day. So could I work out on Saturday and Sunday leading up to that week so that I'm only missing maybe one workout instead of missing all the workouts, right? So we start to kind of get creative. I'm not saying that we're always trying to play the makeup game. That's not what I'm asking you to do. I'm asking you to take a peek at what your schedule looks like. And if you are starting to miss things, I want you to ask yourself why. Why am I missing things? Is it prioritization? Is it scheduling? What is it? And when I start to ask myself better questions, I get better answers. Okay. And this questioning isn't inviting you to beat the shit out of yourself. Right? This is not what I'm asking you to do. I'm asking you to, it's kind of like I used to do events for work. And after every single event, my boss and I would sit down and we'd be like, okay, it was called the plus delta, right? So it was like, what were the good things that happened at the event? And what were the things that we would change? And it was never oh my God, that event sucked, blah, blah, blah. It was like, okay, yeah, these are all the good things that happened at the event. These are things that would change. Oh, you know what? That lighting, it kind of felt a little harsh. Is there a way to tweak the lighting? Oh, you know what? The things got there just in time. Could we change the shipping to get it there, one day earlier? Positives like, oh, the booth looked amazing, or, the number of people that we wanted to come to the event came to the event, right? So it was like inviting us to cheer ourselves for the things that went well and inviting ourselves to say, okay, let's take a critical look at what didn't go well, but how will we change it versus oh, I didn't get my workout in. I suck. Oh my God, I can't believe I didn't get my workout in. Oh my God, I gotta do double. I gotta do triple. Right? No, it was okay, I didn't get my workout in. What happened? Why? And how can I change that? So I'm just going to give you some real life example. So one of my clients, she's, most of the things I focus in on really women over 40 trying to lose belly fat. So she came to me and she was like, I said, Kim, I don't feel like myself. I don't go to the beach anymore. I want to be able to like go to the beach confidently with my kids and not always feel like everyone's just staring at me. Anyone feel that? Right. So, so instead, she's like, I need to do all the things. So she's like, tell me exactly what to do. And I was like, here's the thing. If you are not doing anything right now, me giving you the list of things to do is probably going to feel overwhelming. And for many people, when I say that, they're like, you don't know me. Yeah, girl, I do know you. I know who you are, and I know that you're a perfectionist. And I know if I tell you to do 10 things, and if you can only get done 7 things in a week, you're gonna feel like was a mistake. You're not good enough. How could you be such a failure? I know it because I said the same shit to myself. So instead, I'm like, I rattle off like, here are some things. What feels good for you? Like that's where we start. What feels good for you right now? And we need to have the adaptability, right? Because maybe, so let's go back to Susan, right? So when we broke down her 12 weeks, she was like, okay, um, breakfast feels really good for me. Great. So let's just focus in on making sure she wasn't an eater. So let's just make sure you were eating breakfast. And let's hang out for that for 2 weeks and see how it goes. The second thing was like, let's see if we can get 3 workouts in a week and keep a bottle of water in your bathroom. So you just start the day just drinking a big thing of water. Right. So after 2 weeks, I checked in and she's like, oh, I'm struggling with the workouts. Work is crazy and I didn't get one workout in at all. Okay, not a problem. And she's like, but I am doing better with breakfast. She's like, I am eating. And she's like, I've gotten it down that I'm eating like, out of the 7 days, I'm able to eat breakfast 4 of the 7 days. Great. We're moving there. And she said, and I've been able to take the water that you told me to keep in my bathroom, and I've been able to drink that, but the rest of the day, not so much. Great. So here's where like the tough love here is like, don't beat yourself up. That's my tough love. So I'm like, okay, great. So now let's look at, so then we talk through why she wasn't doing breakfast. And so we're like, let's come up with easy things for you to do. And so for her, the easy thing for her was to get one of those ready to drink protein shakes and keep it in her refrigerator. That was a simple thing for her to do. She can grab it and drink it on her way to the office. Boom, simple, easy. As for the workouts, she's like, I'm committing to so many things. I'm running here, I'm running there, my kids, my job, so forth. So I was like, can we carve out 15 minutes in the morning, 3 days a week? What do your mornings look like? And so we started to carve out 15 minutes where literally she was just stretching, right? It was just getting her into the routine, into the habit of giving herself 15 minutes. And then finally I said, okay, you've gotten used to like having that bottle of water in the bathroom and you're drinking it. Now, how about you spill that water, put it in your car? And so she was an outside salesperson, so she was always in her car going back and forth to clients. And so I said, now fill that bottle of water and put it in your car. And so that every time you start your car, you take a sip of water, right? And I don't know if you've ever been in outside sales, but like you're always kind of conscious of how much you drink because you're on the road and you seem to always know where a bathroom is, right? So if you've ever been outside sales, that's one of the biggest challenges of outside sales. It's like, where do I pee? And so, this was her like first 2 weeks, and then we like retweaked. And so by the time we worked through, this for her took her about 16 weeks. She was down about 8 pounds. And she was feeling more energized, but it was a process. Like she didn't nail it the first week. She didn't nail it the second week, but we were taking steps to get closer and closer to her goal. My other client, Jessica, was really a stress ball. She's a teacher, right? So we all know that there's so much pressure on you between the students and the parents and the administration of the school. So she was just like, I'm just a walking stress ball. So I said, okay, like what makes you feel less stressed, right? Like I know it makes me feel less stressed. What makes you feel less stressed? And she's like, I really like yoga, but it always seems to fall to the bottom of the pyramid. I'm like, yeah, me too. So I said, well, how about we schedule in 2 days of yoga? And, again, it could be like a full-blown 90-minute class, or it could be like a 15-minute thing you do at home and it's a YouTube video. And so the second thing is she's like, we also want to stress I eat. And she's like, you just go head first into whatever she goes head first into. So I'm like, okay, let's see if we can, get in two yogas a week. And instead of you reaching your hand into a bag, maybe, she was a salty person. And I said, maybe instead of reaching into a bag of like, chips or whatever, what if we were able to just like cut up some cucumbers and we put salt and vinegar on them, and that kind of was like your go-to treat. Like it gives you the crunch, but also gives you the salt, and see if that works. And so over the course of her 12-week plan, she was able to bring in more yoga, and the cucumbers did start to give her that like sensation that she needed. But if it didn't give her the sensation that she needed, she bought those little kitty bags, and that little kitty bag of potato chips, like just having that one a couple days a week was just what she needed to like get through this stressful period, right? So by the end of this 12-week cycle, she wasn't diving headfirst to snacks, her sleep improved, and she felt calmer throughout the day just by making these small tweaks. So as we are talking through this, I want you to kind of say, all right, if we go back to the top, what is your 1 to 2 week, sorry, 1 to 2 week, what are your 1 to 2 goals, right? I want people to be realistic, it's like, be realistic. Goal that you're excited about, something that you can make a plan for in your life, and then long term, it's achievable. But what I hope to see is that like we stack, these 12 weeks on top of each other, right? So that when we make these 12-week plans, we stack them on top of each other. And when we stack them on top of each other, they build, right? So that by the time we're done with the end of the year, we've already hit 12 of these, right? We've had 4 of these 12-week sprints, so that our habits are building on top of each other as we work our way through this year. So that maybe if your goal was 3 times a week for strength training and we were able to finally hit that at the end of the 12 weeks, maybe we're like, let's see if we can add another one into that second 12-week sprint, maybe another one and another one. And so that maybe by the time the end of the year comes, or the end of our final 12-week sprint, we're at 5 days. Maybe if the goal was to prioritize protein in every meal, and we're doing that, great. Now, maybe the goal is let's look at good fats, so that as we are putting these 12 weeks on top of each other, they're creating a full healthy living like ecosystem. And we're doing it like one tiny step at a time. So ladies, here's the deal, right? You don't need another diet. I don't need another meal plan. Like following meal plans are great for a short period of time. It teaches you guardrails, right? But at some point, you got to look at the guardrails and say, am I even liking what I'm eating? Does what I'm eating make me happy? I had a client who's like, well, Mike, I give my kids tacos, but I don't eat the taco shell and I put it on bread. And I was like, but why don't you have the taco shell? You're already eating bread, you're still eating carbs. So what's the difference? Does it make you just feel better? Like, have the fucking taco. Right? At the end of the day, plan for that taco in your life. Having a taco shell isn't going to kill you. Most of the women who come to me, you eat really well, and it's like we just overthink and overcomplicate so many things. So it's not about another random workout, another random program. It's not stressing, am I doing it right? The goal is finding a plan that works for you. And that's where this 12-week year comes in. It helps to say, okay, is this realistic for me in this period of time in my life? And that's what I really want all of us to look at and say, what does the next 12 weeks look like for me? And what can I commit to? Right. I know that last year in January, I started a 12-week road to maintenance. And I was just like, what does maintenance look like for Kim? But other people are like, hey, I got a lot of downtime here and I really want to build muscle. Great. Let's go heads down for 12 weeks and see what that looks like for you. Or like someone's looking at their calendar, like, hey, I'm going on vacation in March and I really want to look the best. Great. Let's go heads down into a fat loss phase for 12 weeks. But it's like looking at our lives and say, what fits in right now? Because this is what I know. You can't always be on a diet. I can't diet until I die. All right. If you feel like you're dieting to your diet, you're doing it wrong. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. And I hate that. You need a plan that works for you, right? And that's where the 12-week year comes in. And I'm here to help you make it happen. So if you're like, this sounds really good, but I have no idea how to set this up, holla at your girl. Let's set up a time to work through what a 12 weeks roadmap would look like for you. We're going to break it down step by step so you know exactly what to do and how to do it. No guesswork, no overwhelm, just results. So do me a favor, shoot me a DM at Kim Jefferson Coach, or you can email me at hello@kimbarnesjefferson.com and I will get you set up. My spots are limited, so don't wait. And if you're hearing this, make sure that you're like, yeah, this sounds interesting. Let's start a conversation. Because ladies, like, when I say this is the Fit Girl Magic podcast, you are the magic, right? The magic isn't being perfect. And trust me, I am so guilty of thinking about perfection. I always thought that perfection was, I always thought perfection was all about doing it all, and you can't do it all. And it's about us showing up, taking action, trusting the process. And guess what? You got what it takes. I'm here to guide you along the way. And until next time, Magic Makers, keep doing you. And I will talk to you next week.